Do I think that coding is dead? Do I think that AI is going to replace developers? The short answer is no. What's happening is the same developer is able to now output way more, become way more productive with these AI coding tools. So why is that? The main reason is these AI coding tools, first of all, can actually write lots of code for you. That's the first thing. The second thing is they have the context to be able to solve problems. So if you get stuck, in the past when I would get stuck on something, I would go search the web and I would generalize my problem and search the web with my generalized problem. And then I'd find a solution to my generalized problem, and I would understand their solution and then apply their solution back to mine. Now with the AI tools, they have the context of the code base. They can see the exact code and they can actually propose solutions to a problem that you're facing. So what happens now is you not only have the web and documentation, Stack Overflow to help you fix things, you also have this whole other tool that is right in your code base that can read the code and say, hey, I think this is the issue. So you have a whole nother helper, and once it finds the issue, it can actually fix it. So you have this whole other helper alongside you. So developers are becoming super developers in a way. We're able to go way faster, maybe 1.5, maybe 2 times as fast as when we had to write everything out by ourselves. So that's how it's transforming things. However, the coding is not dead because you still need to be able to prompt and verify correctly. You need to be able to ask it the right questions to be able to have it solve the problem for you. Because a lot of times it doesn't solve the thing correct on the first try, or it might even do something dangerous. It might even do something dangerous, like maybe it exposes your API keys or something. And if you have no idea how to read or write code, you might not even know why that's a problem. So the point I'm getting at is I think what we're going to see, and what we are seeing, is that engineers are becoming more productive. And as a result, I don't know how the market's going to respond. I think we could see a space where big companies lay off some employees because they're saying, hey, I used to need 5 engineers to build build and maintain this UI, but now I only need 3 engineers to build and maintain this UI. Or similarly, I used to need 5 engineers to build and maintain this API, but now I only need 3, so I'm going to lay off 2 of them. But we might also see something like, okay, I only need 3 engineers to build and maintain this API. These other 2 engineers are really good. I'm going to take them, and I'm talking about like how a CEO might think. The CEO or C-suite might think, okay, I'm going to take these other 2 engineers and put them on another product that can make the company money. So I think what we're going to see is engineers becoming more productive, engineers making way more impact, and by design, teams becoming way more lean, and the engineers on those teams getting paid more because they're able to produce more. So I think that's what we're going to see. Similarly, I think we might see something like where, a company or a small company always wanted to build this product and they couldn't because they couldn't afford to hire 5 engineers to build this product, but now they only need 2 or 3 engineers, so they can. So then they're able to hire 2 or 3 engineers and take a swing at this product. And hiring 2 or 3 engineers, even at a higher rate, is still cheaper than hiring 5 engineers at a lower rate. So that's what I think we're going to see. I think in the positive case, I think what we'll see is leaner teams, more engineers getting paid more because they are producing more. And I think on the downside, what we might see is layoffs because engineers are able to produce more. But yeah, I really still think it's worth it to learn how to read and write code, because at least what I've seen, the AI tool is a huge productivity boost, but it can't do everything. Maybe eventually we'll get to a point where somebody who doesn't even know how to code can build really complex stuff. But in that case, yeah, then maybe, I don't know, maybe at that point coding would be dead. But what I'm seeing right now is it's not dead. It's still useful, and it's still really useful to have that skill set. And also it's actually very fun to code right now because you can learn way faster. A lot of times if you get stuck or if you have questions, you have this tool that is able to give you just a little bit more information, a little bit more specific information, And if you don't quite understand, a lot of times, I'll give you an example. Like, I might be reviewing somebody's code and I might not understand a bit of code, and I will ask the tool, hey, can you explain this code to me? And it will explain everything line by line. If I don't fully grasp it, if I don't fully understand what it said, I'll ask another question, and then it can tell by my questions where my understanding is and customize the response. Versus before, I would Google search, and then sometimes I would get explanations that were too advanced or too basic, and they also didn't have the context of the code base, so they weren't really able to fully help me as quickly. So you're able to ramp onto new code bases way faster. You're able to learn a lot faster. I'm learning way faster with AI. So again, I think it's an incredibly useful tool. I don't know what the future holds, but right now I would say it's overall really a big win. Those are my thoughts. I guess I'll say one more thing. I do think there's some best practices with coding well with AI. So what I do, at least, and I'm curious to hear if somebody watching this doesn't like the way I'm coding with AI, let me know in the comments. I'm trying to learn here too. I'm a mid-level software engineer, just trying to grow as fast as I can. But what I am doing is I try to use the IDE to do as much as it possibly can. So I just keep iterating with the tool, having it write code for me and whatnot. But I do not commit any code to the repo that I do not understand. So I make sure I understand every single line of code that I'm committing, because I don't want to put my name on something that I don't understand. But it can produce code way faster than I can write it. So I'm going to use it to write as much code for me as I possibly can. So that's how I've been using it. I feel like that's probably the way to use it, is to leverage the tool as much as you can to write code. But then before actually get committing, make sure you understand what you're committing. So anyway, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, leave me a thumbs up, and I'll talk to y'all on the next one.